Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you with some words of positive encouragement. As you are watching this, I am actually on my way to the courthouse in Orange County, California, where the hearing, which has been put off and delayed month after month after month after month, is ideally going to be happening today. So I'm filming this for you in advance because I didn't want to miss sending you my message, which is all about how to keep going. This is a very important topic because it is so easy to want to throw in the towel. I'm filming this and we are actually starting year 4, if you can believe it. Right? We have just completed 3 years of hogwash in terms of the government's tyranny and oppression that really started prior to this. But I believe in my own life and what I've experienced, it has just accelerated at a breakneck speed. And I also believe that the reason why we're seeing even more tyranny and oppression and hogwash being sloshed all over us, because evil is losing. It's almost like the last gasp when somebody is giving up and it's like, oh, one more time, they sputter and spout. And then finally, kind of like a candle flame or something, it finally goes out. The good news is that we battle a vanquished foe. Victory is ours. And even though this has been a long time coming, a tremendous amount of energy and money that has been all wrapped up in this lawsuit. And I'm so grateful for those of you that have supported me with a financial donation. Let me just some of you are asking me again. So let me just take you right on over there. And it is here at thehealthyamerican.org. And when you click on that big red donate button there in the upper corner, and that will take you to this page, I want you to make sure that you choose either one time or monthly. I'm so grateful for those of you that can even just do a few dollars monthly because it helps me do this important work. I have spent thousands of dollars on this legal action. And I actually didn't realize it was going to be going on 2 years. And I didn't realize all of the shenanigans that the hogwashers and the serpents were going to, unfold and bring forward, because the case is actually very cut and dry. There is a law that the Board of Supervisors is violating. They are required to do public business in the public eye. They are saying that they've been receiving reports from the health officer about this so-called eternal emergency, yet they haven't done it in public for going on over a year. And that's what I'm requiring this court to insist upon, that the Board of Supervisors, that the government follow the law that was written in times of an emergency. Here's what you're supposed to do during an emergency. And their response is, we don't have to do it because it's an emergency. So it's very cut and dry. And because I've already won in the eyes of God, and in my own heart, in my own mind, I know that I am in a place of victory. They have pulled out all of the stops to try to delay by kicking the can down the road and trying to have new judges come in, and more delays are happening. And of course, that is emptying out the pocketbook at a rapid pace. So I thank you for your support, because I literally could not do this important work without you. And I had no idea that it was going to be going on for so long, and that they were going to turn the tables and, go after me and my character and all of that. It's absolutely despicable. I pray for their souls, because it would just be horrible if they all burn in the lake of fire for eternity. And that's what God says is going to happen to those who choose evil. And that's why I refer to them as serpents, because the Bible shows us that serpents are engaged in deception. There's truth, and then there's deception, and it's black and white. So that is why it's so important to be able to understand how to keep going. So let me tell you a few things that I've done in order to keep going under these very oppressive times. And the number one thing is, it's very important to take breaks. You've got to take time for yourself. Now, through the grace of God, I was afflicted with this indescribable, incapacitating nerve pain the day after Christmas. My holistic MD believes that it was brought on by stress, because, as you know, I have never participated in any of the cooties hogwash that was sloshed all over us. I have been a pure blood in all of these what has been going on for the last few years. I did not participate in any nasal assault, certainly not becoming a human pincushion, and I don't even participate in the suffocation ritual. So no, I have not had any of that whatsoever. I possibly thought that maybe there was some I don't even know if I can use the word going on from those that did participate in the cocktail, but I can't really pinpoint it. I did gratefully take several weeks. Well, it was about 4 weeks. I guess that's several days off in terms of staying in my pajamas, not really working, and allowing my body to heal. And if you're interested in the different types of healing modalities I did, please let me know in a comment below, and perhaps I will cover that in an upcoming video. But I would say one of the most important things that came out of this debilitating pain, which I'm glad to say I'm on the other side of, is that I was forced to take time to rest. So it's very, very, very important to allow your soul, your mind, your heart, your body, your intellect, your social interactions, all of that can be dialed down, and you can take these breaks as necessary. I am so very concerned about those of you that are sending me the nonstop videos, and I'm grateful for those of you that are staying on top of things, but I can see and I can sense when someone is teetering on that edge of being in the spin cycle and they're addicted to fear. Fear gives you a surge of adrenaline and cortisol, and that can make you feel alive and exhilarated and in the game and a part of things. And sadly, that when people are normally kind of living a life that's rather flat and not exciting because they're not engaged in goals and dreams and actions and things, they can replace that sense of accomplishment and being engaged in life with being addicted to adrenaline and fear. So by all means, take some time. That's my number one tip, is to take a break from it all. I will admit that I was a little astonished that the world could go on without me, and it did. And I did not have to have a video every day. I did not have to have an email and a newsletter every day. And all y'all were able to function without Peggy to the rescue and the Healthy American and all of that. So I am glad to be back in action, but it was a very, very important lesson for me. So how to keep going often requires you to stop going for a period of time so you can regroup, you can refresh, you can be rejuvenated, you can take time to really think about what is important to you. During that time, I read a very powerful book called The 5 Regrets of the Dying by, oh my gosh, I will leave you a link to that in the description box below. The Bronnie Ware was the author, an Australian. It was more of a book about living. And I really enjoyed reading it because she was a caretaker and she got to have a front row seat for those individuals that were preparing for their final departure, as she put it. And it's such an interesting book. I don't agree with everything and all of her perspectives, but I am always open to hearing other people's life adventures and their outlook. So I would not say that it comes from a Christian perspective per se, but that's fine. I wanted to hear her authentic experience. So when I give my opinions about books and things to look at, I'm not necessarily 100% on board with everything they say, but that doesn't mean that it all gets thrown out. So during that time, when I was reading that, it really put me in mind in terms of spending my very precious time. And I've done videos on that on this channel in the past. I like to think of my time and my energy as grains of rice in this giant vat. And I don't want to just scoop it up and throw it out willy-nilly by looking at videos and movies and websites and things that I don't want to spend my time doing that. So even in this freedom movement, it's very, very important to have boundaries. And that would be my next thing about how to keep going. Really have boundaries around what you're going to look at, what you're going to read, who you're going to discuss things with, not only about what you're selecting in to come into your life, but how long you're going to spend doing that. So if you spend an hour in the spin cycle, listening to the fear peddlers and the flu mongerers and even certain truthers that leave you feeling worse than before because it's all about dread and the sky is falling, I would recommend that the amount of time you're spending in the spin cycle and the woe is me and the sky is falling, double the amount of time that you're spending learning about something uplifting and how-tos and how to render all of those serpents insignificant. And it puts me in mind of when I used to do my testimony and speaking and encouraging at rallies surrounding school boards. I don't do that any longer. I did it in the beginning thinking that I could speak some sense into them. And I loved meeting people and seeing people at the rallies. We made great connections and I applaud all sorts of action. I'm just saying it's not suitable for me any longer because I would rather spend my time educating people about getting your kids out of the public schools. So maybe spend, 5% of your time doing that and then 95% of your time building, creating, considering something new and different. My friends, I think that is really the only way out. So the other thing I would say is to surround yourself with positive, uplifting people that have a can-do, optimistic attitude. It is so very easy, and I catch myself doing this as well, to complain about things. Why? Because we want to be heard. We want to commiserate. We want other people to understand how hard we have it and how difficult things are and why don't other people see things the way I do. So complaining is an understandable, very common, dare I say, natural response, but it's not very productive. So instead of complaining, I like to focus on creating something new and different and positive and helpful and effective. And there's probably a lot of trial and error that goes into that. So these are the tips that I have in terms of how to keep going. I would say that surrounding yourself with positive, can-do, uplifting people that get who you are. And if you find that you're treading into those areas of a complaining fest, please watch my other videos on this channel about how to stop complaining. I'm not sure if that's the exact title, but you'll see that I have some tips on that as well. And then I want to hear from you in a comment what you do in order to keep going. It's very important to take time for yourself, to pray, to focus on the positive. And I want to leave you with my final tip, which is to really focus on gratitude. Even in this lawsuit, I'm so grateful that I've met people that are supporting what I'm doing. I'm grateful for the attorneys that see the truth and are willing to fight for it. I'm even grateful for the opposing counsel, for the attorneys for the Board of Supervisors, because I'm able to now see the depths at which they are groveling in order to try to pull a fast one in terms of not allowing the truth to come forward with all of their shenanigans. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be involved in a lawsuit because I really have never been in one at this level. So I'm grateful for what I'm learning. I'm grateful for those of you that have supported me financially because I cannot do this without you. And I will say that I did just get another bill from the attorney, and I am grateful for your help. I'll just put it that way. So the fact is, I'm going to focus on gratitude. That is going to be my highest value going into this year. I'm going to look for ways to be grateful, even in the hardship, because the fact of the matter is we don't know the good that can come from this. And that's another one of my sayings. I can't wait to see the good that can come from this. And I can't wait to bring you an update, which will probably be on Tuesday on my channel, The Healthy American, when I will tell you exactly what went down in the courtroom earlier Monday. So that's what I have for you today, friends. So grateful to have you on board. Thank you for joining me here Mondays at 11 a.m., letting other folks know about my positive encouragement. I want to add value to your life and help you take a break from the spin cycle and all of the current events. So thanks everyone for being on board with me. And I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video, always over at thehealthyamerican.org. I have a free Substack that you can subscribe to with deep dive articles about a lot of the topics that I cover. All right. See you soon, everybody.